Today we're looking at something that most Americans have not yet grasped, but they will. Because if the numbers are right, and sometimes they are, the US economy just hit a wall. And we're all going to feel it down the road. The July jobs report came in with just 73,000 jobs added. That's not a slowdown. That's a siren. In a country of over 330 million people, 73,000 new jobs is not even enough to keep up with population growth. It's a warning shot, subtle, statistical, but deadly serious. And it gets worse. Revisions to May and June data just quietly erased 258,000 jobs. That's not a typo. And 250,000 jobs that were previously reported no longer exist. Gone, vaporized. Which means the strength we thought we had, it wasn't real. And now that illusion is cracking. When the numbers are that far off, when multiple months get revised down that sharply, something deeper is happening. According to Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, reports like this often emerge at key economic turning points. That's the moment when optimism peaks and reality steps in. We're there. You don't need to be an economist to feel it. Businesses are slowing down their hiring. Uncertainty is rising, and inflation, though lower than last year, is still sitting above the Federal Reserve's 2% target. That's the worst of both worlds. Prices are high and job growth is stalling. So what happens next? Wall Street is already making its bet. Markets now expect the Fed to cut interest rates in September. Traders are pricing in a more than 90% chance that rates will drop. Why? Because they know what this data means. They know we're entering a dangerous zone. And this is where it gets especially troubling. Because while some officials continue to describe the job market as solid or silent, we're seeing evidence of something else entirely: economic paralysis. Businesses aren't just hesitating, they're freezing. A recent report from Fed contacts found that business leaders are spending up 45% of their time navigating uncertainty. Not building, not hiring, not investing, just reacting defensively. That's not how a healthy economy works. That's a sign of leaders trying to protect themselves from instability, from chaos, from policy whiplash. You see, when businesses don't know what's coming, when there is a constant back and forth on taxes, regulations, tariffs, global relations, and interest rates, they can't plan. And when they can't plan, they stop hiring. They stop expanding. They stop taking risks. And this is where we are today. And those risks, that's where growth comes from. But instead of addressing the root issues, uncertainty, policy instability, economic fragility, we're now seeing people blame the numbers themselves. Doubt the data, attack the messengers. That's a dangerous game. Because if we lose faith in our institutions, if we stop trusting the numbers, then we lose the very foundation sound decision making. This is not about politics. This is about reality. Because no matter who you voted for, the pain at the grocery store is real. The layoffs are real. The missing paychecks are real. And if you think this is all just a blip, let me remind you, this kind of sharp revision, where job growth evaporates in the rearview mirror, has historically happened just before recessions. Not during them. Before them. In 2007, in 2000, even in 1990, you saw the exact same pattern. But this time, it's paired with something even more dangerous. A slow, grinding inflation that refuses to go away. We're not in a runaway double-digit inflation of the 1970s, but we are in a new form of economic discomfort, call it stagflation light. Sticky prices, sluggish growth, and growing doubt. And here's what people are not talking about, the global picture. The rest of the world is watching. Asian markets dipped after the jobs report. US Treasury yields dropped. The dollar weakened. These aren't isolated reactions. These are signals that global investors are starting to hedge their bets. When capital starts moving away from the US, it's not just symbolic. It's financial gravity shifting. The Fed now finds itself cornered, cut rates too fast, and you might reignite inflation. Wait too long, and the labor market could collapse. It's a balancing act. But here's the truth. We've already lost some balance. The numbers prove it. Even with the Fed, there is a division. Some leaders, like Neil Kashkari, argue for aggressive cuts. Others say, wait, watch, hope. But hope is not a policy. And waiting while the floor falls out from beneath you is not a strategy. It's a gamble. So what do? We stop pretending. We start telling the truth and we rebuild economic confidence from the ground up. Not through spin, not through manipulated narratives, and definitely not through attacks on data, but through stability, clarity, and leadership. It's time to admit what's happening. Job growth is flattering, inflation is lingering, business confidence is eroding. And the only thing more dangerous than that economic reality is refusing to confront it. So the next time you hear a jobs number on the news, don't just glance at the headline. Look at the revisions, look at the direction, because the story is not what happened last month, it's where we are headed next. And right now, we're headed toward a crossroads. Will we choose to restore stability and clarity, or will we keep pretending that economic truth is just another opinion? The future of our economy and the well-being of millions of Americans depends on which path we take. If you found this video helpful or eye-opening, do me a favor. Hit that like button so more people can see what's really going on. And if you want more no-nonsense analysis the mainstream media won't touch, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We're just getting started. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.